marked what we finished with. Right, we stopped.
We stopped at section 5.
Yeah, okay, so, right, yeah, blank no de, tsuyoku ni ikitai desu, we did. So we're starting with shichiji ni okinakereba ikemasen. Okinakia ikemasen. Okay, so everybody just, first of all, pay attention to what form are we using to make this conjugation.
Short form negative.
Right, short form negative. So okinai, right? Okinakereba ikemasen. Okinakia ikemasen.
Are the two always like interchangeable?
Pretty much, okinakereba ikemasen is definitely more formal sounding, and okinakia ikemasen is a little more casual. And then if you shorten it to like okinakia ikenai, that's even more casual than that. So you can kind of control how formal or informal you want to be by which version you choose.
Okay.
Yeah, the nakia ikenai form is basically a contraction. You know, it's like saying can't instead of cannot.
Cool. Cool.
So, okay. Why don't we just start from Amber and come down the line. So, example.
For section A. Or
Right.
Okiru. Shichiji ni okinake. Okinakere.
Nakereba.
Ikemasen.
Nakereba ikemasen. Okay. It helps if you know that the kereba structure is like if. So okinakereba ikemasen is basically saying if someone doesn't wake up, it's going to be ikemasen, not good.
Is that what that verb is? Is
Yeah.
that a verb?
Ikemasen is ikeru. It's the negative of ikeru. Ikeru is from iku, to go. Ikeru is to be able to go. Ikemasen is like to be unable to go, but it's an idiomatic expression, so it's a little bit like saying doing such and such won't fly. You know, in English we would use that expression, right? No, that's not going to fly. Right? So in Japanese, the equivalent idiom is it's not going to go. Okay, it can't go.
Yes.
Okay, and then you take that and you add it to the if not structure. Okinakereba is if someone does not wake up,
They do not. Yeah.
then it's not going to go well. You know,
Yes.
so the idea being that this person must wake up at 7. Right?
Mhm.
Does that make sense? Does the breakdown help? Yeah. じゃあ、ゼノさん1番。
8時に家を出なければいけません。
はい。じゃあ、サヌさん2番。
午前9時に授業に出るより出るなければいけません。
出なければ。
出なければいけません。
出なければ。Yeah, because 出る is a root verb. So, 出なければ。
that's asking for the
Oh, okay, 出なければ。It's not 出り、it's 出。出なければいけません。はい。
あ、
じゃあ、3番。どうぞ。
午後1時に山下先生に会わなければいけません。
はい。4番。カンさん。
日時。
2時でしょ ?2 時。
日時に英語を教えないな
Yeah.
なければいけません。
はい、そうですね。英語を教えなければいけません。じゃあ、電話さん。
3時に図書館に行って本を借りなければいけません。
はい、借りなければいけません。はい。
午後5時うちに帰りなければいけません。
はい。帰らなければ。
帰らなければいけません。
午後6時にホストファミリーと晩ご飯を食べなければいけません。
はい。
8時に宿題をしなければいけません。
宿題をしなければいけません。はい。じゃあ、電話さん。
9時に
9時に
9時にシャワーを浴びなければいけません。
はい
Is that
浴びる、浴びます。
浴び
はい。
る is
Right, it's a reverb, so 浴びます。
what is 浴びるthough? Like what is that?
Shower.
Take a shower.
Oh, that whole thing.
浴びる
Okay.
So, シャワーを浴びなければいけません。
Right.
はい。じゃあ、10番どうぞ。
午後10時に薬を飲まなければいけません。
はい。11時。
午後11に11時
に。
家族に電話をかけなければいけません。
かけなければいけません。
なければいけません。
11時に家族に電話をかけなければいけません。ね。
Is it as 家族 instead of 家族?
家族。Yeah, 家族。
Oh, yeah, it sounds like 家族.
Yeah, well, you can see how it's spelled,
Oh, yeah.
家族. So it depends on how carefully you're enunciating the ku. Some people cut it shorter than others. 家族。はい。じゃあ、質問がありますか？
This is like pretty straightforward
はい
as far as that.
じゃあパート B に続きましょうか。アンバさんどうぞ。1番。
Wait, so you're saying we're not to find your...
First, let's read the question.
Oh, you're going to read it out loud?
はい。
日本語の授業で何をしなければいけませんか？いけません。
はい。じゃあ、What's it asking? 日本語の授業で何をしなければいけませんか？
What are you to do in Japanese?
What are you
Like,
not
Not
allowed to
no.
do, right?
Okay, I have it back.
Oh, sorry,
Oh,
no,
wait.
しなければいけません. No, you're right. What must you do
Okay.
in Japanese?
I was like, did I mess up?
Sorry. No, I got backwards. Okay, so 日本語の授業で何をしなければいけませんか？ So,
日本語を話しなければ
話します. What's the negative form? 話さない.
Oh,
Right? It goes from su to she to sa, right? Okay, so 話さない.
話さなければいけません。
はい、話さなければいけません。
Mustn't do would be what? してはいけません。
してはいけません。
That's the one with it.
Yeah, してはいけません is must not do, right? And this is しなければいけません. If you don't do, it's bad. So you must do. Okay. じゃあ、okay, why don't we let Amber ask Damon and then Damon asks Sandler and so forth.
仲良くなりたいんです。 何をしなければいけませんか？
犬を飼わなければいけません。
そうですか？どうして？
Dogs are cool. I don't know.
かっこよく
Become cool, you gotta buy a dog? I don't know, what else do you do?
Okay.
Buy a
Okay.
puppy. I usually
To get more かっこいい
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bought 30 dogs, nothing's happened.
What else could we do? Can't think of anything.
What? What's the question?
Get your hair did.
Yeah.
かっこよくなりたいです。かっこよくなりたいんです。So what's that mean? かっこいい。かっこよくなりた
So
い。
become cool.
Yeah, or
Attractive.
attractive, good looking.
Mhm.
かっこいい is good looking. So it's not just cool.
Get a hot girlfriend.
新しい服を
彼女。
Okay, so かっこよくなりたいんです。何をしなければいけませんか? So this is kind of a weird question.
新しい服を買い
買わな
Take off
けれ
your
ばいけ
shirt.
ません。Okay. Okay, いい服を買わなければいけません。That's a possibility. Okay. はい。
Bye.
What'd you say?
Janet.
Okay. So.
Why?
Okay, いいですね。Okay, so ジェイモンさん、3番をサムさんに聞いて。
友達が遊びに来ます。何をしなければいけませんか?
They're coming to have fun.
はい。
Okay, so 私の部屋を掃除しなければいけません。
そうですね。
はい。
はい、じゃあ次。
明日は初めてのデートです。何をしなければいけませんか?
あ、ギターを弾かなければいけません。
ああ、ギターを弾かなければいけません。あ、OK。面白いですね。じゃあ、
そう
あ、
じゃあ5番どうぞ。
子供の時何をしなければいけませんでしたか?
部屋を掃除しなければいけませんでした。
あ、そうですか。はい。わかりますか? 皆さん質問がないんですか?
はい。
じゃあ、じゃあこの間話した通りにもっと会話しましょうか? もっと話しましょうか?
英語で意味は何ですか?
前のクラスに火曜日に話しましたね。もっと日本語で話しましょうという話がありましたね。もっとたくさん日本語で話しましょうって覚えてますか?
いえ。
ダメですか? 皆さんどうですか? もっと話しましょうか?
はい。
じゃあパート C やってみましょう。はい。7時に起きなきゃいけない casual form。明日何をしなきゃいけないの? 明日は何をしなきゃいけないの? 誰がスタートする?
ね
例えば私は明日
例えば。
例えば for example
例
例えば明日6時半頃に起きなきゃいけない。どうしてかっていうと、子供たちは6時半に起きます。だから私も起きなきゃいけない。ね？わかりますか？
ちょっと。
わかりましたね。
はい。子供たちはまだ若いですね。まだ小さいです。だから子供たちが起きて、私がまだ寝ちゃダメです。わかりますか？
I don't think we know like chapter yet.
Okay.
Is that where
じゃあ
we're
い
at
け
now?
ない。いや。
そうか。
そう、起きなきゃいけない。起きなきゃいけないね。わかりますか？
はい。
はい。じゃあ、誰が何か行かなきゃいけないことあるの
8時に起きなきゃいけない。
はい、いいですね。起きなきゃいけない。他には
wait, can I say like, I can't at this time, I must not go shopping?
買い物をしな
しなきゃ
いけない would be I must go shopping. So
Wait. Wait a minute. I thought ikanakya was
行かなきゃいけない
is
is
must not. Or is it
It's the casual
It's the
form.
double negative.
what?
So 起きなきゃいけない is must wake up.
Okay, so
So
午後
買わなきゃいけない would be must buy.
午後10時に買わなきゃいけない。Must buy,
Okay,
right?
okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Buy what?
Okay, so I need something. Okay. All right.
何を
Just
買うん
making
です
sure
か？
like it was like the right. Okay, so
10時に
魚を買わなきゃいけない。
そうか。どうして？
お腹が空いたんです。Can I say that? お腹が空いたんです。
でもそれは past tense. We're talking about 明日。だからお腹が空くでしょ
つくでしょ
う。はい。
Oh.
For future tense.
Probably.
う。おー。
わかる？
はい。
じゃあ、
あ
起きなきゃいけない、買わなきゃいけない。レムさんは？
友達に会わなきゃいけない。
そうか。多分。
20時頃に。
20時
12
12時
12時
12時頃
12時
はい。
頃
頃
or ぐらい Okay.
頃
Okay.
Yeah. ぐらい is approximate length. 頃 is approximate time.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So はい。アンバさんは？
なければいけません。
Okay, short form? 働かなきゃいけない。働かなきゃいけない。はい。It's right here in the example. 例えに書いてある。ね。働かなきゃいけない。
So are we adding like reasons too?
いいよ。
So like,
例えば、
okay, hold up. So I can say like, 7時にテストがあるから
はい。
勉強しなきゃいけない。
はい、いいですね。
Okay.
はい
Okay.
はい。はい。
はい。
例えば、友達に会わなきゃいけないのはどうして？
ので
久しぶり
久しぶりですから、はい。久しぶりに会ってないから、会っていない、会っていない。
私は
have not met for a long
教え
time。
て。
会っている、会っています、会っていない、会っていない。haven't met for a long time。久しぶりに会っていない。
いない。
ので、
から、
はい
はい。ジョーさんはどうして8時に起きなきゃいけないの？
仕事を
Okay. Either 働かなければいけない or 仕事に行かなきゃいけない。仕事に行かなきゃいけない。はい。言いにくいですか？言いにくいね。
Okay, I'm gonna throw something together.
はい、どうぞ。
午後
はい。
7時に、
はい。
Okay. お風呂は暑すぎるから、
はい。
お風呂に入らなきゃいけない。Does that work?
If you're saying 暑すぎる, then it's too hot. You don't want to be entering it then.
Oh, that's must.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is must.
Okay.
So you could say
寒すぎる. Would that be it? 寒すぎる.
No, 寒い is for weather.
Oh.
Cold water would be 冷たい.
冷たすぎる.
はい。
Oh, now I lost my mind. Okay. So, 午後7時に、お風呂は冷たすぎるから、お風呂に入らなきゃいけない。
もっと早くお風呂に入らなきゃいけないでしょ？ You don't want to enter it when it's too cold, so you want to enter it sooner. でしょ？
Yes.
だから、
So,
7時に冷たすぎるなら、6時に入らなきゃいけないでしょ？
はい。That's what I said.
はい、もっと練習しましょうか。これ言いにくいからもっと練習した方がいいでしょ。言いにくい means difficult to say. 言いにくいでしょ。
言いにくい。
はい。言いにくい means like it's not that it's hard to understand, it's hard that it's to pronounce. Right? It's like a tongue twister. 言いにくい。言いにくいでしょ。
難しい。
もっと練習しましょう。
もっと。
じゃあもっとたくさん。more。もっと is more。
もっと。
That's what it was。はい。もっと練習しましょう。
はい。
じゃあ例えば何時に家に帰らなきゃいけないの？何時に
もう一度言ってください。
何時に家に帰らなきゃいけないの？みんな違うんでしょ？何時に家に帰らなきゃいけないの？
午後5時に行かなきゃいけない？
帰らなきゃいけない。
帰らないといけない。Returning。
はい。アンバさんは何時に家に帰らなきゃいけないの
？Do we know something for like strict parents?
はい。7時はい。7時に帰らなきゃいけない。はい。
Where's the 帰り in that?
帰る、帰らない、帰らなきゃいけない。いい？帰るでしょ？
帰らない。
はい。 らない。ね。帰らなければいけない。or 帰らなきゃいけない。So the ければ gets shortened to きゃ。
Yeah, I just I couldn't
Right.
for some reason I couldn't hear
帰らなきゃいけない。
帰らなきゃいけない。
はい。
はい。
So short form negative きゃいけない。はい。いい？
はい。
さあ、デイノさんは何時にうちに帰らなきゃいけないの？
午後11時に帰らなきゃいけない。
はい、いいですね。
はい。
じゃあ、他に質問を聞きましょうか。じゃあ、お互いに質問を聞いて答えましょうか。お互いに one another。
Okay.
Okay. 質問を聞いて答えて、質問を聞いて答えて、いいですか？答え is answer。
Okay. はい。
どうぞ、誰でも。
何時に昼ご飯を食べなきゃいけないんだ。
ね、いいね。何時に昼ご飯を食べなきゃいけないの？
午後 One more time.
昼ご飯。
昼ご飯
いや、何時に昼ご飯を食べなきゃいけないの？
So 午後12
12時
に食べなければいけません。
はい、いいですね。じゃあ
That's you must
食べなきゃいけない。はい。
you must okay.
質問がある？このリストからの例えもいいですね。
コーヒーを
飲まなきゃいけないの？質問にすると、の、So, コーヒーを飲まなきゃいけないの？ Do you feel like you must drink coffee? That's what you would be asking.
So the no and that kind of acts like ka.
Yeah, no in casual form often acts like ka.
Oh, is that like masculine or feminine, or is it
It's-
before I start using it?
It used to be sort of feminine. I think it's changing. If you want to avoid it, there are other options. 帰らなきゃいけないの？帰らなきゃいけない。Just
The
an
inflection.
upswing on the inflection on the night. 帰らなきゃいけない。帰らなきゃいけないか？
Oh, I just,
You can
Okay.
put a ka there. That's more masculine for sure.
I'll probably that's it.
帰らなきゃいけないのか？ That's another option too. No ka.
So what does that add? What does that add? The no, like if you do no ka, what is like what does it? Is it a different tone or
Yeah,
anything?
no ka is karanake ikenai no ka is a little bit like the des form, but with the casual question.
Okay.
So, no ka is like the des, like, is it that you have to be home by that time?
Yes.
Yeah, so like you're thinking that, oh, okay, that's why you're saying you can't go out drinking with me because you have to be home by this certain time. You know, that kind of situation.
Yes.
Okay, so no ka is a little bit more of that explanation type question. No by itself is maybe a little bit on the feminine side, but not like super feminine. Just ka by itself is kind of blunt and masculine sounding. And just the upswing on the inflection is pretty neutral. いい？
はい、はい、わかります。
じゃあ、
そう。
誰が質問を聞く？
No.
Also. Okay.
どうぞ。
Oh, no, I forgot what I was going to say.
じゃあ、デムさんどうぞ。次。
じゃあ何時に大学に来なきゃいけないのか。
はい。
Oh boy.
Okay, first answer his question.
Oh,
Who are you directing?
you're asking me a question?
さん、何時に大学に来なきゃいけないのか。
11時に大学に来なきゃいけない。
はい、いいね。はい、11時まで。You can also use まで here because you could come earlier, but you have to be here by 11時. Make sense?
Yes.
So 11時まで来なきゃいけない.
Okay.
Make sense? You already know まで. That's just another way to use it. So, you know, if there's a time limit, like you have to be home by a certain time, you have to be here by a certain time, 11時まで来なきゃいけない。Or 11時まで帰らなきゃいけない。If you have to be home by 11 p.m., something like that. いいですか？はい。じゃあ、サンナさんの質問は？
I have another one I want to try too.
はい、どうぞ。
So,
日本語でどうぞ。
how do I say that I have a cold? 風邪を
ひく。
That's to catch a cold.
はい。風邪をひいている。
Is to have a cold.
はい。
So if I add ている,
はい。
okay, so I can say
It's that same category like 住んでいる、結婚している, state of being. So
Okay.
風邪をひいている.
we need times. Okay.
You don't have to have a time.
Okay.
What we're practicing is the なきゃいけない form.
Okay.
So
Okay, well, let's see. この漢字は wait. この漢字をわかりません。わからないから。
はい。
Okay. この漢字はわからないから、あなたは教えらなきゃいけないの。
That sounds very demanding.
That was the point. Did it work though?
You got your point across, but it sounds rude.
Okay, good.
So,
Joel-san.
この漢字を教えなきゃいけない. You must teach me this.
Must.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you're being awfully demanding.
So, okay, so my other one was, I have a cold, so I want a kusuri o nomanakia ikenai.
はい。
Okay, so
はい。
風邪をひいているから、
はい。
薬を飲まなきゃいけないの。
はい。はい。上手。はい。はい。他にありますか? Anyone have another example they want to try? じゃあ、 Okay, let's try part B.
はい。
じゃあ A と B 誰が読みたい？
D?
はい、
D
パート D
I thought you said B.
例えパート D、A と B 誰が読みたい？はい、じゃあ誰が読む？
すいません。
誰が読む？じゃあ A さんと B さん
A さん
いい？
です。明日の朝一緒にテニスをしませんか？
すみません、ちょっと都合が悪いんです。明日はうちにいなきゃいけないです。
ああ、うちにいなきゃいけないんです。
I have to be home.
はい。そうですね。And then わかりますか？
はい。
Do you guys want to maybe expand on that and like play out the conversation a little further?
ジョーさんはちょっと。
都合が悪いんです。
I forgot what we were talking about.
明日はうちにいなきゃいけないんです。So for you invited him to play tennis tomorrow morning, and he said he can't. He has to be at home.
Okay.
So you want to like suggest another time?
Wait, how do you say well then? Like,
じゃあ
no, there's a different one. Soshite, does that work?
Sort of.
Okay.
Uh,
Or like, is there something I could say for like, well, in that case, would ja work for like
yeah,
that?
Ja works
Okay.
there.
じゃあ、ジョーさんのうちにビデオゲームをしなきゃいけないの？ Does that work? Is that like saying like, we must go to your house and play video games then?
Okay, ジョーさんのうちで。
で。
But you wouldn't usually make a demand like that. It would be more
You just
like.
blew me off though.
You just demanded
Yeah.
You want me to teach it?
Yeah. ジョーさんのうちで、
We must go on a date.
ビデオゲームを。
お、じゃあ明日デートをしなきゃいけないの？ Does that work? Then tomorrow we must go on a date?
I think you're trying too hard to force the しなきゃいけない
I really
into
want
this.
to like しなきゃいけない.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's already given an excuse
Okay.
for
So-
why he can't do something. So I would say like you're probably going to at this point suggest something else,
I
not
shouldn't.
use しなきゃいけない.
Or なければ.
I think it would be
Okay.
B's place
じゃあ
to use that because he's using the しなきゃいけない as an excuse for why he can't do something, right? You're making a suggestion. He's using it for the excuse. So you can make another suggestion.
So it doesn't matter what verb, like what grammar structure. I was just trying to use.
Yeah. Yeah, just, yeah.
I mean,
I
obviously
think
trying to be realistic.
what you guys were talking about the other day was wanting to do more just general conversation in Japanese, not necessarily just what's in that exercise, but just speaking Japanese more. So that's what I thought we could try to do.
I guess basically it's just ませんか So
Yeah,
let's
so,
do this.
or ましょう, yeah, so テレビゲームをしましょうか or
明日ゲームをしませんか？
はい。はい、ゲームをしません。
はい。
しません
します。ごめん
はい、ゲームをしましょ
しましょ
はい、やった
う。いい
And I was just trying to
And
like.
then
just
and then
talk
if you want to incorporate,
Ask a time.
like ask what time, like 何時まで行かなきゃいけないの
何時まで行かなきゃいけないの？
2時、2時に行かなきゃいけない
2時まで
2時まで
来てください。Please come by 2 o'clock, right? So you don't necessarily use the nake kenai in both the question and the answer. It's generally going to be one or the other, most likely. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Sensei,
Hi.
see what I was doing, I wasn't just like, I know it's not like realistic to like make a demand or anything, but I
Yeah.
was just using what I was using or whatever, just so you
Right.
would have something to react to, because I was using what I was currently thinking of rather than like doing this, because this still feels like we're doing like
Right.
drills, which is still structured, we're not just doing like,
Well, that's why I wanted to use this as a jumping off point, and then the idea being to try to make it like it's, okay, if this were a real situation, that you invited him to go play tennis, and he's saying, no, I can't, I've got to be at home, a more realistic scenario then would be for you to suggest something like, oh, well then let's play video games at your house, and he could say, sure, be here by whatever time. You know, or you could say, oh, what time should I be there by? And you could say, come by such and such time. Do you see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
trying to incorporate the current grammar is great, but if you're stretching it to the point where you wouldn't really say it that way, then what are you really practicing? You see what I'm saying?
coming up with things on the spot rather than following a structure, which is what we were doing right now.
Okay.
Because at some point, I'm not going to be able to come up with the right thing, he can correct me, you can correct me, something like that will
Right.
happen. It's not like I'm always gonna have the right thing to say at the right time.
Right.
So it's better to like make
But,
mistakes.
Right, yeah, I'm trying to give you some guidance that, you know, it's more likely that you would use this rather than that in a given situation.
Okay.
Okay. You know, because one thing you want to be aware of is that there are certain situations where, like, the nake kanai usually is going to be talking about something that you yourself must do, right? It's not likely that you're going to be using it to tell a friend what they must do, because it comes across as too rude for Japanese society that way. You know, if you're giving advice, wasn't that one of the other,
I think that was B. What was it?
した方がいい, right? Yeah,
Oh,
した方が
it's
いい
better for you
and
to do.
しない方がいい. So if you're giving advice, it's more likely that you would go back to that structure. You're telling somebody what you think they should do. But if you're talking about what you're supposed to do, you could use this structure. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's great to practice the current structure, but I'm also trying to show you what's actually real in Japanese society, what you would say, what you wouldn't say. Does that make sense?
And instead of being like, it's okay to come over at 2, instead of like, you have to come over by 2.
Right.
Like, no ifs or buts.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like, yeah, if you're saying, you know, 2時まで来なきゃいけないの, then you're basically saying, if you show up at 2:01, I'm gonna slam the door in your face and not let you in. You know, that's stronger than you probably intended. Does that make sense? Okay.
Can you like say like you must do like if you're a parent or something?
Yes, that's the one situation where it's more likely that inakia ikanai or some variation of that is going to get used. Is
Like if you're a
like
boss.
like if a boss or a parent or some other authority figure telling a younger person or a lower status person something they must do. But even there, like in a boss situation, that would be a pretty mean boss. Okay? Usually a boss is going to say, blah blah o shite kudasai. Okay? Because you're both adults. He's going to be talking to you like he assumes you have some intelligence and know some things, right? And so he's going to say, kore o shite kudasai. If there's an important deadline and he's worried that you're not going to get the idea that this is really vital, he might say, kore getsuyobi made shinakia ikenai. This must be done by Monday, right? So he's giving you, what the deadline is, right? So that's an example of where this might show up for a workplace. And with kids, yeah, you know, you might hear a parent telling a little child, 部屋の掃除をしなきゃいけないの. Yeah, you've got to clean that room, right? Okay. E, should we try more of these scenarios, like somebody must do their homework?
How much time do we have?
It's like 5:04, so we've got like 25 minutes. Do you feel like you want to go on to another activity, or? The show is the only other grammar point we've got, and that one's pretty easy. Just replace des with the show. So.
Can like kore and sore, can they replace events? Like if we do this do homework, like someone I must do homework, then can I say for the after, like the no ato, can I say kore or sore ato, sore no ato?
Kore no ato. Hai.
So like after that, would you like to do?
Yeah, kore no ato or
Or
kono ato.
Kono ato.
Kono ato.
Or kono ato.
Yeah.
Or sono ato.
Sono ato.
That works. Okay.
Yeah, I think you can. Not every time.
Like because
but-
I mean we'd say like after that, you know, like that's.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's.
Kono ato. It sounds awkward.
Yeah.
I want to say kondo
Kondo.
is probably the right expression. It's
Okay.
similar.
We learned that, right? That's.
Yeah, or tsugi would be
Oh,
next.
next.
That's more likely.
Okay.
Yeah. So, 宿題をしてblah blah blah をする。
Mm-hmm. And then-
次にblah blah blah をする。Yeah. いい？
はい。
Right. Okay, so do you want to try this idea of inviting somebody and they're using these excuses to turn you down?
Sure.
Okay. I know it's still a little bit scripted, but I feel like we need building blocks. For us to just go straight into unscripted, I don't think is realistic for most people. Okay?
So,
But we actually have to get going anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Oh.
so 明日一緒に宿題をしませんか？
はい。Okay, so 明日一緒に宿題をしませんか? So who wants to reply? Amber or Damon?
あ、スクリプト。
はい。
すみません、ちょっと都合が悪いです。医者を見に行く。
見に行か
行かなきゃいけない。
はい。
医者？
一緒に見に行かなきゃいけないです。He's got to go see a doctor. 見に行かなきゃいけない。
Almost say that's wrong.
あ、どうしたんですか?
どうしたんですか?
We had that before.
Yeah, long time ago. Yeah.
どうしたん?
どうしたん?
そう、風邪をひいています。
はい。
ダメですね。
Right. And a good phrase to know that they might not have taught you yet, お大事に.
お大事。
はい、お大事に is like take care of yourself. It's
that's
just a
just お大事に.
standard polite thing to say when you find out somebody is sick.
What was
It's
that?
like take care of yourself. basically.
Actually,
お大事
it
に.
is.
Is it this lesson? I
Yeah.
thought it was pretty recent. Yeah, お大事に. So that would be the
Okay, well,
perfect.
お大事に.
お大事に. So that would be like the perfect situation. You どうしたんですか? ちょっと風邪をひいてます. あ、そうですか。お大事に.
You know, what was that phrase for like you look tired or whatever, but it was like the compliment kind of thing. It was like skare
お
sama.
疲れ様でした. Yeah,
お疲れ様でした.
it's not you look tired. That's a funny translation. Yeah. No, it's more like you must be tired, but
Okay.
it's not in the sense of the way you look. It's in the sense of I can see you really worked hard on something, so you must be worn
tired.
out from doing all that hard work.
Skare.
So yeah, お疲れ様でした is it's somewhere between a compliment and appreciation. It's more like, I appreciate your hard work,
Okay.
you know.
Discuss.
Yeah, and it can be for people to say to each other when they finish the project together, and it can also be when you see somebody having completed something and you're like, wow, that's really great that you did that. So it could be anything from like, you know, you see somebody, like the custodian who works in your building cleaning the bathrooms, otsukaresama deshita. Thanks for your hard work. It's like appreciating the work that they're doing, that you're noticing and appreciating that they're keeping the bathrooms nice and clean, which, you know, you don't want to have to do that at your office job, so you're glad that the janitor does it nicely, you know. And it could also be like you and your work colleague worked on some big account together, and the project's finished and it went well, and otsukaresama deshita to each other. You know, thanks for your hard work on this. Oh, thank you for your hard work on this. You know,
Gotcha.
make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, dozo.
So eat lunch. Or, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
go back to, okay, oh, wait, are these our excuses or
Yeah,
what we're asking
that's the
to do?
excuse.
So I
So,
can come
like,
up with a thing to do.
Yeah, so
Okay, nice.
you're inviting Amber to do something, and her excuse is gonna be that she's gotta go eat lunch.
Okay. 明日、一緒に海に行きませんか？
すみません。Oh my gosh.
Huge gohan.
Is Hiro also lunch? Because like Asagohan's breakfast. So like,
Yeah.
if I said ashita no hiro, is that tomorrow afternoon?
Ashita no hiru would be
Hiru.
like tomorrow midday.
Okay.
Hiru is noon. So, yeah, ashita no hiru, 一緒に whatever.
Gotcha.
海に行きませんか whatever you say. And then ちょっと都合が悪いんです is the phrase for I'm sorry, that's a little inconvenient. So すみません、ちょっと
すごい。
都合
都合が、悪いんです。
はい。
昼ご飯を食べなきゃ
食べなきゃ
あ、
いけない。
食べなきゃいけないです。
はい。ですね。食べなきゃいけない。
So we learned that the masenka is like a question, like, won't you do this?
Right.
Can you, I mean, does short form work the same way? Like if I said oshinai, like,
Yeah,
put it in like a question way, it'd
yeah,
be like,
so like
the
一
same.
緒にテニスをしない
okay, it's the same as
一緒にテニスを
masenka.
しない Yeah, 一緒にテニスをしないの
Oh, not, oh, the not.
Yeah, ないの or ない
Okay.
一緒にしないか If you want to go for the more masculine one.
Oh, you can use, okay.
Yeah,
I never even thought of using it that way either, like short form and stuff.
yeah. So any of these that are being used in long form, and they're practicing long form here, I think specifically to get that ndes in there again.
Yeah.
But, and because that ndes usage, this is a very typical way for it to get used, is when you're making an excuse for why you have to turn down someone's invitation,
Nice.
okay? Because turning down invitations is one of those areas where Japanese people don't like to have to do it because they feel like they're being rude.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's, yeah, so, 都合が悪いんです。You know, so, for example, 昼ご飯を食べなきゃいけないんです。So, yeah, and I think that the directions are also saying that you don't have to be so specific. It doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be mimicking what's in that first example.
Mhm.
So like if it's eating lunch that she has to go do, then maybe you invite her for today, like, you know, at noon or something. You know, like
Okay,
If,
gotcha.
if, for example, if it's 11 o'clock now, and you're suggesting, let's go to the beach together at 11 o'clock, and it's like, well, I'm hungry, I've gotta go eat lunch, because then I'll have to go to work after that, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you can be a little freeform with it as far as, like, look at what it is their excuse is gonna be, and try to construct an invitation where that excuse makes some sense,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so, Ongo-san, you wanna try one of the other ones?
Sure. 明日の、夜
夜
よあ
明日の夜、tomorrow night?
はい。
明日の夜
夜明日の夜、買い物をしませんか？
はい、いいですね。
そう、鶴瓶さん、ちょっと都合が悪いんです。コーヒーを飲む？
はい。
Can't think of an excuse.
Well, like, maybe you've already got a date to go drink coffee with somebody else?
そう、明日の晩？
Yeah, 明日の夜.
明日の
That's what
夜。
she said. 明日の晩 works.
明日の夜はデートをしなきゃいけないんです。
はい。Okay. And then you could add something like, デートと、or, 友達と一緒にコーヒーを飲みに行くんです。or コーヒーを飲みに行かなきゃいけない。You can use that, right? 友達とコーヒーを飲まなきゃいけない。Have to go drink coffee with my friend. Or コーヒーを飲みに行かなきゃいけない。I have to go drink coffee with my friend, or I have to drink coffee with my friend. All those different variations work. Mhm.
来週一緒に図書館で勉強しませんか？
すみません。ちょっと都合が悪いんです。出かなきゃいけないんで。出かけなきゃいけないんです。
はい。
That's a mouthful.
言いにくいですね。That is a mouthful. 出かけなきゃいけない。
そう。
And
And then I could say like どこに行きますか？
はい。
友達と喫茶店に行くんです。
行くんです。
行くんです。That's
行くんです。
行くんです。
ですね。
そうか。
はい。一緒に行きませんか？
はい。
はい。おー。
いいですね。
いいです。
いいですね。
はい
はい。どうですか? Do you guys want to practice a couple more of these, or do you want to spend a few minutes on the show?
I'm good. Like the show's not too bad.
Yeah.
We can maybe run through like one or two because
Okay.
it's not too intense.
Yeah. So tomorrow's weather forecast, Gil or play the role of a meteorologist, predict the weather for your favorite city. So do you guys want to do the freestyle one or the more structured one for Tenki Hall?
What do you guys feel?
As far as like heading onto it, I'm not sure what else we need to say because it's like, oh, like what's the temperature? It's gonna be hot and
Yeah.
すごいでしょ。
Yeah.
it's
寒いでしょう。
暑い.
暑いでしょう。雪でしょう。雨でしょう。晴れでしょう。
So if I would say,
20度でしょう。
how's the weather? What's the weather probably be like in Kaido?
Hi.
What would I say?
So Kaido wa,
Tenki deshoka?
if you want to ask what's the
Like,
weather gonna be
yeah,
like?
yeah.
Kaido no tenki wa dou deshou?
Oh, okay. Do desho.
How will it be? Dou
Okay.
deshou? Dou
Okay.
deshou ka?
So,
Kaido no tenki wa dou deshou ka? And then, Kaido wa ashita, ashita, so cool would be, who remembers?
Samui?
Samui is cold.
Oh,
Suzushi.
Suzushi?
はい、涼しい。
Suzushi desho?
はい、涼しいでしょう。And then 気温は18度ぐらいでしょう。Because, yeah, they usually would put ぐらい because you can't really be that precise with temperature, right? 18度ぐらいでしょう。
What is Kion? Is that temperature?
気温、
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
気温 is temperature. And notice that it's all going to be in Celsius because that's what Japan uses, like the rest of the world except us.
Yeah. So for 2番シドニー、シドニーは明日、sunny. I just remembered.
晴れ。
晴れでしょう。
はい
It's probably gonna be sunny tomorrow.
はい。
So 暑いでしょう。And
気温は
気温は30度
30
度ぐらいでしょう。
はい、そうですね。Oh yeah, we forgot to mention Kaido would also be 曇り。曇りでしょう。Yeah, cloudy. 曇りでしょう。涼しいでしょう。18度でしょう。はい。
Oh, wait. What's the Juhashi what? For
18度。
do is?
Do.
Okay.
Yeah. 度 for degrees. So 気温は18度でしょう。
Do.
or 18度ぐらいでしょう。
Gotcha.
Yeah. Notice that it's do, short vowel, not do. Two entirely different words.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, the short and long vowels can really mess you up if you're not noticing them.
I do that sometimes when I think I'll say it too long and say, wait, now it's a different word.
じゃあ、ローマはどうぞ。It's a green umbrella, right?
So,
雨でしょう, right? ローマは雨でしょう. And then warm would be that fun one to say. Who remembers?
暖かい。
はい、暖かいでしょう。
暖かくなかった。
暖かいでしょう. Try it. はい。And then 20 degrees would be はい。So 気温は20度でしょう。20度。
with verbs, it's a completely different structure to say like it's probably going to rain. Like it's
Yeah.
like if you say
降るでしょ
furu.
う。はい。
Oh.
これが降るでしょ
Okay,
う。
so
Yeah, so it's short form plus でしょ
oh,
う。Yeah. 明日雨が降るでしょう。明日寿司を食べるでしょう。you know,
that's
you know, 明日6時半頃に起きるでしょう。
but
Yeah.
this will be all.
はい。Yeah. 質問がありますか？
Yeah.
So, for the まとめの練習, we've got a lot of like skit type ideas. So the idea here is to try to be able to just sort of ad-lib stuff, not necessarily write out a whole script
Mm-hmm.
and try to memorize it, because that doesn't help you when it comes time to an actual conversation with people, right? You're better off sort of muddling through with trying to say something or respond to what the next person says, and practicing that multiple times so that you get better at doing it. So, for example, if your friend looks sad or happy, either one, the question would be, remember?
Yeah.
I do not.
I was just looking at it
What's
too.
wrong or what happened?
Oh, どうしたんですか?
Hi, どうしたんですか?
Oh.
And then, you know, who wants to answer? どうしたんですか? Who wants to play the role of a friend?
Oh, so, inu o shinu desu.
犬が
Inu ga.
Hi. Pretty sure, because the
Oh.
dog is the one that died, right?
Yeah. Okay, so it's for shinu, it's ga. It's
Yeah,
okay.
犬が死んだんです。
Shin.
死んだんです。死ぬ、
Mhm.
死んだ, right? 死んで、死んだ,
Oh, because it's
past
the
tense.
past tense short
And
form.
then the んです, right?
So
死ん
shin
だんで
dan
す。
desu.
はい。
There's no.
はい。
Can I also use the show work there too? You can't do like
No,
done the show.
no.
It's probably because like what if I say like his dog probably died? Like would I just use the show?
If you're talking about like let's say you and Amber are over here
Mhm, we're
gossiping
talking about
about
Joe's dog.
what's wrong with Joe. 犬が死んだんでしょう. Maybe his dog died. You know? Yeah, that's possible.
So how to say that again?
犬が死んだんでしょう.
Shindan the show.
Sure.
So okay, yeah. So
So as if I want to gossip, use that one.
Yeah, but if it's your own dog that just died, 死んだんです.
Mhm.
Or if you're worried that your dog might die, 犬が死ぬでしょう. So you're upset not because he already died, but maybe he's sick and you're worried, well, what if he dies? You know, he might die.
Mhm.
So 犬が死ぬでしょう. My dog is probably dying, you know, that's, you know, so that could be why you're sad, right?
So this is really grim too. But like, if he's in the process of dying, like, would you use ninari or would you say like tei, like?
I would
Shitei
probably
one.
use the desho, like shinu desho.
Okay, so he's
probably
not-
dying,
not-
yeah.
he's on the way out. Like,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, because, I mean, you don't know for sure what's gonna happen. There could be some kind of a miracle and he survives,
Mm,
right?
okay.
So anything like that that's future tense and it's not guaranteed to happen, Japanese people tend to use desho a lot.
Gotcha.
Stay optimistic.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, they don't look inside.
Yeah. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then, you know, like making plans for trying to play tennis together, and you've got your hypothetical schedules. A has certain days that they're busy, B has certain days that they're busy.
And that's kind of like what we were doing already for the other
Yeah.
one, so that should be easy.
Yeah, so that's good to practice more also. And visiting a doctor's office, and you role model, you know, one person asking, どうしたんですか? being the doctor, and the other person tells about their symptoms, you know, and then the doctor can give advice. right?
Mhm.
So, you know,
Must
"喉が
be
痛いんです." Ah, 熱い水と塩を飲んだ方がいいです. You know, drink hot water with salt in it or whatever, you know. Or lemon tea を飲んだ方がいいです or whatever. You know, whatever kind of advice you want to give.
Yeah, no, they got all like the little complaints you can have.
Right.
Some of which
Oh,
I've never
that's
seen in a textbook, which made me laugh.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was looking through, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
if I need to say it, I know it now.
Right, yeah. Yeah, well, and that's one of those things that Japanese people tend to be less inhibited culturally than we are about talking about bodily functions
Oh, there you go.
and body parts and, you know, body size and image and things. We're more inhibited about that stuff than Japanese people sometimes are. So, yeah, they will, you know, just, you know, I mean, if your host mom is taking you to the local pharmacy to get what you need to help you, she's gonna say it right out loud, not whisper. And the whole store will know that the gaijin has such and such digestive problems. So, yeah, that's pretty normal. Yeah.
So is the plan for next week to like go, because we're not doing the test next week, or?
I don't know. How do you
was
guys
the-
feel? Are
I
you
think-
ready for the test, or do you wanna take one more week to practice some more?
I think the one more week, because even if we like kind of glaze over this, like, if we do a couple of that, and then we still have, I know the kanji section have a pretty large, reading.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and
so-
it's probably a good idea
And
to spend some
it's
time
got
on,
all this supplemental stuff. Well, not all of it, but there's a lot.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we do like kanji next week and then kind of go over like
Yeah, maybe
OPI
talk
practice kind
about
of thing?
some OPI practice and maybe, yeah, if you guys can read, the story on your own and just kind of highlight where you've got questions, because there may be individual lines where you read it and you're like, I'm not sure if I'm understanding this right. But then other parts of it, you might feel like you did understand it. So it might be better to just kind of pick it apart like that rather than try to read the whole thing in class, because that could take up the whole class,
Yeah,
just
that-
reading the whole story.
Mhm.
And it took me way too long to realize this, but
Mhm.
we actually have it with the CD. And
Uh-huh.
it reads it to you. I was like, I was looking through, because I have it on my phone, I was like, oh, okay, I'm dumb.
Yeah.
It's gonna help.
So, yeah, you can listen to it as many times as you want on the CD, which will help you with any like kanji readings that you're unsure of, right?
Mhm.
And it'll help you with working on your listening comprehension too. It's good listening comprehension practice. Can you follow
Yeah.
the storyline? And because it's a different speed, you kind of get the overview of the whole story more quickly than if you're sitting there piecing it together one little character at a time, trying to read it. So by listening to it first, you might get sort of the gist of the basic idea, and then you can read it for details, and then go back and listen again, and read again, you know, as many times back and forth as you want, but that's probably a better strategy for comprehension than just trying to just read it and not
Yeah.
listen. And don't forget, there's a whole bunch of vocabulary there, which again, if you go over the vocabulary first, you've got some hope of understanding some of
Yeah,
those
yeah.
words when you run into them.
Yeah.
The other way to do it, if you like to read with a highlighter or a pencil in hand, like I often do, or stuff like this, is just read the article, and every time you hit something that you don't understand, just highlight it or underline it, or sideline it in this case,
Mhm.
and just keep reading. Just read for whatever you can comprehend, and just mark all the things that you don't understand in the moment. Then read the vocab list and look for, okay, how many of those things I didn't understand? It's because they're in this vocab list that I haven't covered them before. And then when you eliminate all those, what's left might be just a half a dozen vocabulary that you just plain forgot, right?
Mhm.
And then, again, you can go through it from a bunch of different directions like that. Listening and reading and listening and reading and, practice with each other. Reading it together might help in the sense that instead of spending a lot of time looking stuff up in the dictionary, the word that you forgot, Joe might remember. The word that Joe forgot, you might remember, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's funny kanji for the Milky Way.
yeah,
Yeah, Heaven's River, it was kind of cool.
yeah,
I thought that was neat. It's very, like,
yeah,
makes it sound cool, it's like, yeah, Milky Way, whatever.
yeah.
Actually, yeah, this sounds way better than ours.
But, and for, like, Hito Bito, as far as, like, people,
Yeah.
like, what context would you use that in?
Hitobito, the people. Usually when you're talking about like large populations of people, so like large groups, more so than like kono kurasu no hito wa blah 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 would be just hito for these few people usually. But hitobito sounds, kind of implies that you're talking about large numbers.
Okay. Because I saw it when I was looking at the